What is going on, everyone? Welcome here to Main Event Cards. My name is Damien, and this week's video will simply just be some form of a channel update, what is going on right now and what will be happening in 2025 as it is soon approaching. So basically, just right now at the moment, I am under 3 weeks away from heading home back to Australia for a Christmas catch up with all my family and friends. I will be there till mid-January. Obviously, super looking forward to that. Whether I will be having a lot of weekly videos coming out during that time is still yet to be seen. Trying to plan out some videos at the moment. I actually have some good ideas that have been brewing up in my head at the moment. Obviously, some of you would have already seen the angle that I've been sort of tilting into with the content that I've been putting out recently. A little bit more risque that I've actually been enjoying a lot more. I hope some of you have been getting entertainment out of it. There's probably a lot of you that don't, and that's fine. I've actually had a lot of, not a lot, but I've had subscribers unsubscribe recently, but that is what it is. Obviously, if you don't want to stick around, that's completely fine. Feel free to do what you want to do. But this is the way that the channel will be heading in the current future, and I'm going to be talking about some of the content that I will be putting out moving forward in just a second. But as I said, I do have that Australia trip coming up. So if I don't have the weekly videos coming out at the end of this year, early first 2 weeks of next year, you know why. Probably will have a video or two. I don't know if it will be weekly. Obviously, I've got some collabs coming up with Zach that I will be always committed to and keep doing moving forward. My content moving forward will just be still a mix of topics. I've always, from day one, obviously, you know, there's no box openings or anything happening here. That's not really going to be changing at all. Might try and, I don't know. It's not to say I won't ever open boxes, but definitely, if that's what you are tuning in for, hopingly tuning in for, then you're better off checking out some of the other channels who I've spoke about numerous of times. There are plenty of other UFC card content creators who do box openings for you to see product. That's not what I do here. I just cover a whole bunch of stuff that I obviously want to talk about, which I have been doing a lot more recently. Just giving my own take on things, my own opinion. I feel like there's sometimes that there's definitely a view that a lot of people aren't getting and topics that people aren't talking about, and I've obviously made it a point, and I enjoy it, to bring those up, talk about those that are still related to UFC cards. I haven't really lent into the WWE side of content as yet. I've been buying WWE. I've probably been 50-50 with cards that I've been buying have been wrestling cards versus UFC cards. So there will be more like wrestling card content focus coming in the early of 2025. But for now, it's still been majority of UFC, the content that I've been doing. Having a lot of fun. Obviously breaking down this whole Dana White and Rip It Friday situation for what that is. Basically, just moving forward, if I think I see what I call to be bullshit, I'm going to be calling it out. As I said, I think that there needs to be someone who does that and just sort of critically analyzes things that are going on that may not otherwise be talked about. And that's what I've just been finding enjoyable for me from the content creation side recently. Still be doing some community combos, the interviews with other people. It is very difficult to find people to get to come on to the channel for whatever reason. Obviously, especially UFC cards, very, very niche to begin with, but then actually getting someone to commit to come on has been a struggle. But that will be something that I will be moving forward with still, because that's like one of the favorite things for me to do, is just get on and just connect with people. Speaking of connecting with people, there may be a live chucked in here. I'm not sure. There may be even a live before the end of this year. But definitely moving forward, I'll get into 2025 in a second, but moving forward, lives are going to be something that I will be doing more of, just because they're a fun way to connect with, you know, the couple of people who probably still want to stick around and talk and listen to my takes on things. I'm also going to be giving my takes on cards that I feel like are undervalued. I mean, you can obviously not take this as financial advice, but I feel like I've been around long enough now, and as I said, thinking about things from an analytic perspective, from a critical perspective, I think there's things that you can see, there's trends that you can see that make it easier for people if they're thinking more along the ways of buying cards for a store of value, because a lot of us do that. I still even do that till this day. Stopped it a lot more than when I did when I first got in. what I've been doing a lot more now is buying cards that I just clearly want for the collection for whatever reason. And then also there are some cards I've been picking up because I do think there is a store of value. So we'll be talking more about that, my own experience with that, my own opinion on that. And I think that will make for interesting content as well. So the plans for 2025. So there will be more regular content. It won't be the first half of 2025. The first half of 2025, it's going to be a little bit more irregular. I can't guarantee it's going to be weekly videos, but at least I'm going to try and get weekly videos out the whole of 2025. But the first half of the year, because of some personal changes here, which I'm not going to go into on a public domain here on YouTube, but it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. But then the second half of 2025, things will be a lot easier for me in terms of life and free time. So I will have a lot more opportunity to start really concentrating on the content, both quality and quantity. I'm planning, as I said, getting more into lives, and I will get it to a point where I would love to do a weekly live at some point. So hopefully that can start the back half of 2025. I don't want to say too much just yet, obviously trying to keep it on the more quieter side, but even Zach and I are in talks about things as well for next year. So that is very exciting, and then that's a fun thing as well that I'm looking forward to in terms of the collabs that we do. And then just card-wise, as I said, I've got some PC cards that are all over the place at the moment. I've sent some PC cards now to BGS. I've still got a couple of more. I've got a few here behind me in the CGC slabs that are collection cards, but I'm still waiting to get a few back from BGS. I've got a few more to submit to BGS as well. So I've talked about this before. The cheaper PC cards, the collection cards, I don't care the value so much about. I just cards that I wanted for the collection. They have been sent to CGC for grading. I actually have a couple of more that I need to send through to them as well to sort of get that half of the PC tidied up. And then there are a couple of more I need to send off to BGS as well. So the more value, higher value cards, the cards that I think are more on the rare, high value side, I have sent to BGS for my collection. And then of course I'm always still sending, not always, but I do have a bunch of cards I've sent off to PSA, just cards, longer term value cards that I'm simply buying because of value reasons. So nothing to do with the collection, just value pieces, whether it's tomorrow or in 5-10 years. I still think PSA is the way to go with that. But once again, when I have those cards more in hand, I'll be able to sort of find a way to display those, show those off, and talk about them here on the channel. Speaking of which, I am also looking to upgrade the quality through either buying a new camera or buying a new phone. Long story short, I buy pretty cheap, shitty phone. I couldn't care less normally about the quality of phones. I've never really have, but I can see the benefit now of having a much higher quality camera, much higher quality phone in order to do some of these videos. And then I've actually quite like the idea of the people who have the mics, like the little clip-on mics that are just on your shirt or something. I think they give a high quality sound and they're very easily used as well, whether it is through a phone. So I think doing that in the future will help not only with the quality, but it's going to help with the quantity as well, because it's going to make it a bit more slimline when it comes to editing. And then even the lives, I feel like if I had a quality setup to do lives, it would be much easier and just much more instant to do it that way. So there are definitely goals that I have for quality and quantity moving forward, especially in 2025, that I have here for the channel. If you've sort of stuck around long enough here, I do appreciate all of you. I know I've talked about a few things over the previous few months with my content now, a few weeks, obviously dating back to that video that I did about the lack of following for UFC card content creators here on YouTube comparing to Facebook groups. I just wanted to make clear that I don't blame or put I don't put any responsibility on the people. Obviously, if you're already here watching the videos, I mean, that's obviously great, and that's very much appreciated as it is. It was more just sharing a frustration, of course, for myself and my own content. I'd be lying if I said it was 1000% about the other guys and people making content, but there definitely was a part of it for my own side that was frustrated and annoyed, but then there was a part of it that was for other people as well, who I know put a lot of work in. And I maybe come across the wrong way in terms of you know, making it sound like I was blaming the people who were sitting there watching the video, which is not at all what my message was. It was just more about, you know, trying to help some people if you wanted to. Obviously, you always have the option. I can't tell anyone what to do, but you know, if people wanted to or felt inspired to, which I guess was more what I was trying to do, inspire people more so than point the finger. So once again, apologies if you're still stuck around. Once again, I've actually lost some subscribers, but that's fine. I mean, better off to have a stronger core community of people than have higher quantity. One day, I obviously would like to get some sort of financial benefit from this. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't also a goal. Of course, the amount of time that I put into this work over the years, it would be nice just to get a little bit more back. First and foremost, through like interaction is probably the number one reason why I'm doing this, but then also to get some sort of financial benefit in order to maybe help the content as well moving forward in things that I do, you know, would obviously be great as well. And we'll talk, obviously, you know, I'll get to that at some point, but that is also, I'd be lying if that's said that wouldn't be a goal as well. I think everyone wants to be rewarded for their time and effort through some sort of financial benefit as well. But once again, I probably dribbled on a little bit too long now. Appreciate all of you, especially if you stuck around this long, and we'll keep going. I'm definitely looking forward to 2025. I hope you guys are too. Happy holidays, everyone. Have safe holidays if you're traveling and things, and we will see you again here next time at Main Event Cards.